Howdy y'all. Today I thought I'd give you a tour of the Colorado and Rio Grande Central model railroad that I'm building. And I thought we'd start in the southernmost point of El Paso, and this is Reddington Yard for my El Paso, Texas. Reddington Yard, southernmost point where the switcher locomotives are. That's the throat of the yard, and the drill track for the yard. The three tracks right here are the arrival departure tracks. The caboose track, that's the main line that goes over to Alamogordo and Tularosa. The arrival departure tracks and the drill track come around over here and lead off the track here, which is this track is the main line that goes to the outbound to the northern cities. This is the locomotive facility for Reddington Yard. This track right here is the reverse loop that goes back into the main. So I could run trains round and round in a circle if I want to. This is the lead track for the locomotive facility. And you can see the lead tracks there for the arrival departure tracks. This right here is the Southern Pacific Railroad interchange tracks. So cars could be interchanged between my railroad and the Southern Pacific into El Paso. This track is the Southern Pacific track that leads off in the distance, and at that other end down there, which I have not completed, there will be an industry down there. So the main line comes around. This is the main line. This right here is El Paso Industry. This right here is El Paso paper box with the hopper spot that brings in chemicals for the box manufacturing, and the tank car, which brings in liquid chemicals for the box manufacturing. And we have the receiving and shipping track for the box cars for El Paso paper box. There'll be a warehouse here where these three cars are for El Paso, just a standard warehouse. And then there'll be a cement plant here where that one covered hopper is. This track that the intermodal cars are sitting on will be the yard track for Oro Grande. Oro Grande is the next city over. Actually, a yard track. I call it a yard track, but it's actually an interchange track for Oro Grande. So this track right here is the continuous run. This is the lead track for the Oro Grande industry. This here is Oro Grande. The idea behind the interchange track is the main line trains will drop off and pick up for cars for Rio Grande for Oro Grande, and cars from Oro Grande that are going on outbound trains. This here is a scrap metal yard. This is the locomotive that will do the switching for Oro Grande from the interchange track to the industries here in Oro Grande and over in El Paso. This here will be a feed mill right here where these three covered hoppers are. Where the tank car and the box car is will be a cannery. These are just some covered grain hoppers that I've set here. I haven't located them yet, but they'll probably go with the grain facility, which will be over here. There'll be a grain mill over here where all these hoppers are at. So the main line comes around and goes over It crosses the SP track. This will be there'll be a industry here. I'll run the SP track over, there'll be an industry here. I just got a Christmas station here for now, for the time being, that lights up when I turn the layout on. Across the way over here is the car repair facility in Tularosa. I just got done building this. This here is the supply track for, there'll be a building on this side of the track that takes in supplies and for the repair facility, the car repair facility. There'll be a car repair facility building here where the boxcar, tank car, and covered hopper are. You can see it outlined in black. There'll be a building here that the cars go inside. These are just the storage tracks cars to be rotated in and out of the storage or of the repair facility. Those two tracks over there are the RIP tracks, repair and place tracks. The lead track for the car facility goes around the backside of the helix, and it comes from Tularosa. This is Tularosa. This will be Tularosa. This will be the next town I work on. I haven't started it yet, but this will be the next town. There's only 2 towns I need to finish as far as trackage. Putting the trackage in, and it's Tularosa and Alamogordo. There'll be where that red box car is, there'll be 3 spots for a warehouse flat. They'll go against the wall and over by the window. This track here where the covered hoppers are and the box car, this is the storage track for the repair facility, car repair facility. The locomotive over in the car repair facility comes over and picks these cars up, takes them to the car repair facility, at the same time brings cars that have been repaired from the repair facility and drops them off here. Then the mainline trains can pick them up and take them where they need to go. These 2 tracks are the main line. The main line goes up the helix. This is a storage track for a dummy locomotive, which I'm going to use in operations. For my locomotives, when trains go up or down the helix, they'll have a helper on the back or behind the locomotives. And this track is where the trains will drop off or pick up the helper. I'll have another one. This is for the northbound trains. This isn't adequate because this is it'd be a facing move, but this will be a trailing move for the southbound trains. And I'll have another track for the trailing moves for the helper locomotive on this side, coming off of here, along with the track going to other parts of the city. This building here is one of the buildings I'll have for the grain mill here in Tularosa. This is Tularosa. So you come out of Renton Yard, come around here through El Paso and Rio Grande. And then the main line follows around the outside closest to the wall. Goes up the incline, the risers for the incline. Goes over the yard. Goes back down the other risers on the incline. Loops around the outside and comes into Alamogordo. Alamogordo will be the last town that I build. As you can see, I have not started yet. And then the main line goes over towards Tularosa and up the helix. So tracks lead up the helix. You come up or down the helix. This is the helix. This over here is above the car repair facility is the branch line of Yerby. I'll explain that later. So once you come up the helix, you enter the town of Carrizozo. This is Carrizozo. There'll be a grain mill here. There'll be more buildings that I add to this later. This is the grain storage track for the grain mill. This is the team track for Carrizozo. Where that locomotive is the helper locomotive to pick up to go down the hill or to drop off when you're coming back up the hill. It's got a track on this side for pickups and a track on that side for drop off. This here is the turkey farm, where the turkey farm ships out turkey dung for fertilizer and picks up and drops off feed for the turkeys. This here will be a drywall facility. Hopper cars bring in the gypsum, and the box cars bring in supplies to make the drywall with and ship drywall out once it's been manufactured. That's Carrizozo. And these two tracks here come from the helix around the curve over there, come around from the helix, combine into one. This outside track is the main line. And we come into the town of Duran. This is Duran. And these three tracks here, and there's three tracks down there. I call that Duran Junction. These are the interchange tracks for the branch line. This track here is the branch line. This is the main line, branch line. So what happens here is mainline trains come to Duran, drop off cars on the interchange tracks, and pick up cars either for Duran or for Yerby or from Yerby. And then the branch line train will drop off and pick up cars on these 6 tracks. So there's 3 here and there's 3 over there. Duran will also have a salt mine. There'll be a salt mine over here. And then this track is the salt mine car storage track. So the cars that be stored on this track are empty salt cars, and they'll be switched over here to be filled from the salt mine and then taken off by the local trains from here. This track here will switch off and go to a, over in this area will be a rock quarry for aggregate. I have not built that yet, still to be built. This track right here is part of the track for Encino, or not for Encino, for Duran. This will be a plastic pellet facility where plastic pellets are dropped off, either from trucking or from local trains. But most likely will be a transport facility for picking up plastic pellets. And then after Duran is Encino, and this is Encino. Encino will have a grain facility, grain mill, which where these Pringle cans are, I've got to cover them. They'll be the silos for, I got to cover them with paper, take the lids off. They make great silos. I'll probably take the lids off and wrap them with paper, glue them together, put a head house on it or something for the grain mill here in Encino. Same with these. I'll wrap them. This here is the storage track for the grain mill. This is the team track where this tank car is for Encino. Encino will also have a LPG or liquid petroleum gas facility right here where that white LPG car is. And this will be Spencer Chemical. Spencer Chemical will have tank cars and box cars that drop off chemical and pick up chemicals from the chemical supply. These 2 tracks over here where the train's at, up against the wall, these are the interchange tracks. The track that the train's sitting on is Denver. And the track right next to it is Salt Lake City. So that train is coming from Denver, ready to go traverse the layout and drop off the empty hopper cars for the various towns on the layout. So the main line comes around and up against the wall, all the way down the wall in front of the window, and down around on the other side of the coal train, and comes around and loops around, comes down and loops around here. This here's the main line. These are the lead tracks. These two tracks here are the lead tracks for Valor Grade Yard. This is where the coal train is sitting, is actually a just a siding track. I call this Santa Fe siding. These are actually the lead tracks for the arrival departure for Santa Fe. This is the engine facility for Santa Fe at Reddington Yard. Caboose track in Santa Fe at Reddington Yard, arrival departure tracks. This track is the lead track out of the arrival departure, and it's also the runner. It's also the continuous loop track. It comes down around the edge of the layout, back down the edge of the layout, and comes back in over there at Encino before you get to Encino for the continuous run. This is Valor Grade Yard in my Santa Fe, New Mexico. I have the two lead tracks that come over there from the main line for the Valor Grade Yard. Two switchers that operate the yard. And let me go back over here to Duran. This track here is the branch line, main line. Branch line comes around. Branch line comes around. Main line, branch line. Branch line goes down and around and up against the wall. Comes around the curve, and it's a track up against the wall in front of the window. And goes around the back side of the helix over there and comes into Yerby. And this is Yerby with the big grain mill. Yerby also has a few other industries. There'll be a feed mill here. It has the team track here, and this will be a electrical supply manufacturer, supplying electrical supplies. It'll be Bruno Electrical Supply. So that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the tour of the Colorado and Rio Grande Central Railroad. A little bit more about the Helix. I built the Helix in 2019. Took me the whole summer of 2019 to build it. A lot of people cover up Helixes, but I'm going to leave mine open because I think it's the main scenic part. It's not really scenic, but it's the main exposure, or what do you call it? Not exposure. It's the main part of the railroad that makes it significant. Okay. Hope you enjoyed the tour. Let me know in the comments. Talk to you later.